For more than 4,000 years, there was a medicine so trusted it crossed empires, survived conquests, and outlived entire schools of thought. A medicine drawn not from laboratories or factories, but from the slow patience of trees and stone. A substance so gentle it could be taken daily, and so powerful it was used to treat wounds, infections, stomach pain, ulcers, and disease long before the word bacteria existed. It did not numb the body. It did not suppress symptoms. It taught the body how to heal itself. And then, almost overnight in historical terms, it disappeared from medicine, not because it stopped working, but because modern science chose a different path. This is the story of mastic gum, a healing resin harvested from the Pistacia lentiscus tree, and how 4,000 years of medical knowledge were quietly deleted in the name of progress. The story begins in the Eastern Mediterranean, in a landscape shaped by limestone, wind, and sun. On the island of Chios, off the coast of what is now Greece, grows a small, resilient tree. Its bark is rough, its leaves modest, its presence unassuming. But when the bark is carefully scored, the tree releases translucent drops of resin that harden into crystalline tears as they fall to the ground. The ancients called them the tears of the tree. These tears were chewed, dissolved, burned, infused, and applied. They were carried by traders, prescribed by physicians, and written into medical texts that shaped the foundations of Western medicine. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, described mastic as a treatment for digestive disorders and inflammation. Dioscorides, the great pharmacologist of the Roman world, wrote that it healed ulcers, soothed the stomach, and protected the mouth from infection. Galen prescribed it for liver and gut ailments. In Persia, physicians used it to cleanse wounds and fight internal infections. In Egypt, it was used in embalming, not for ritual alone, but because it slowed decay. Across cultures, languages, and centuries, the understanding was the same. Mastic protected the body where it was most vulnerable. Its primary use was digestion, the center of health in ancient medicine. Long before the gut microbiome was mapped, healers understood that sickness often began in the stomach. Pain, bloating, ulcers, weakness, bad breath, fatigue, these were not separate problems, but signals of imbalance. Mastic gum addressed them gently, steadily, without force. When chewed, it stimulated saliva, cleaned the mouth, and reduced harmful bacteria. When swallowed, it coated the stomach lining, reduced inflammation, and supported healing of ulcers. When applied externally, it protected wounds from infection and accelerated tissue repair. For centuries, it was used as a daily tonic, not as a last resort, but as prevention. And prevention was the cornerstone of ancient medicine. In the medieval Islamic world, mastic was prized by physicians like Avicenna, who described its ability to strengthen the stomach, purify the blood, and protect internal organs. In Byzantine medicine, it was used to treat dysentery, stomach ulcers, and infections that spread rapidly through cities. In Ottoman culture, it became a staple of both medicine and daily life, used in teas, tonics, and even ceremonial sweets, because health was not separated from culture. Mastic gum was not exotic. It was essential. So essential, in fact, that the island of Chios was fiercely protected for centuries because it was one of the only places on Earth where high-quality mastic could be harvested. Entire villages were organized around its collection. Theft was punished harshly. Trade routes depended on it. Empires rose and fell, and mastic remained. But something changed in the 19th and 20th centuries. Modern medicine emerged with incredible power. Germ theory revealed invisible enemies. Antibiotics saved millions of lives. Surgery advanced beyond imagination. These were real achievements, and they reshaped the world. But in the process, medicine narrowed its focus. Healing became intervention. Treatment replaced prevention. Complex systems were reduced to isolated targets. The body was no longer seen as an ecosystem, but as a machine. And machines, the new science believed, could be fixed with precision chemicals designed to act fast and act hard. Mastic gum did not fit this vision. It did not kill bacteria instantly. It did not produce dramatic short-term effects. It did not belong to a single mechanism that could be isolated, patented, and sold. Its power was cumulative, systemic, subtle. And subtlety does not scale well in industrial systems. As pharmaceuticals rose, traditional medicines were reclassified. What could not be standardized was dismissed as folklore. What could not be patented was ignored. What worked slowly was considered inferior to what worked fast, even if the fast solution caused long-term harm. By the mid-20th century, digestive medicine focused on acid suppression, antibiotics, and surgery. Ulcers were treated by neutralizing stomach acid, even though acid itself was not the root problem. Infections were targeted with broad-spectrum drugs that wiped out both harmful and beneficial bacteria. Mastic gum, which worked by strengthening the stomach lining, balancing microbes, and reducing inflammation without destroying the ecosystem of the gut, was quietly sidelined. Not banned, not disproven, simply forgotten. For decades, it survived only in pockets of tradition, in Greek households, Middle Eastern herbal practices, and the memory of elders who still chewed the resin after meals. But the tree did not stop producing its tears, and the resin did not stop working. In the late 20th century, researchers studying gastric ulcers, long thought to be caused by stress or excess acid, discovered a bacterium called Helicobacter pylori. This organism was responsible for millions of ulcers and a significant percentage of stomach cancers worldwide. Modern medicine responded with antibiotics and acid suppressors. The treatment worked, sometimes, but relapse was common. Antibiotic resistance increased. The gut microbiome suffered collateral damage. And then, quietly, researchers revisited old texts. They tested mastic gum. What they found surprised them. Mastic gum inhibited Helicobacter pylori, not by nuking the gut, but by selectively suppressing harmful bacteria while sparing beneficial ones. It reduced inflammation. It promoted healing of the stomach lining. It improved symptoms, even in cases resistant to antibiotics. Studies published in peer-reviewed journals confirmed what ancient physicians already knew. Mastic gum supported digestive healing without destabilizing the body. Further research revealed even more. Mastic contained compounds with antimicrobial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory properties. It supported oral health, reducing harmful bacteria linked to gum disease. It showed promise in wound healing. It modulated the immune response rather than overstimulating it. In other words, it acted like a system-level medicine. Exactly the kind modern medicine struggles to categorize. And here lies the deeper truth of why mastic was buried. It did not fail science. Science failed to integrate it. Modern medicine excels at emergencies, at trauma, at acute intervention. But chronic disease, including digestive disorders, inflammation, and autoimmune imbalance, does not respond well to blunt force. It requires patience, balance, and restoration. Mastic gum offered that, but restoration does not generate the same economic momentum as intervention. You cannot build an empire on a resin that grows slowly from trees. You cannot scale quarterly profits from a medicine that works best when taken gently over time. You cannot patent a tear that has fallen from the same tree for 4,000 years. So the knowledge faded from curricula, from prescriptions, from public awareness. Not erased in fire, but deleted through neglect. Today, the consequences of that deletion are everywhere. Digestive disorders are among the most common health complaints in the modern world. Acid reflux, ulcers, irritable bowel syndrome, dysbiosis, conditions once rare are now routine. Antibiotic resistance threatens the foundations of infectious disease treatment. The gut microbiome, now recognized as central to immunity, mood, and metabolism, has been profoundly disrupted, and quietly, mastic gum is returning. Not as a miracle cure, not as a replacement for modern medicine, but as a reminder that healing once meant strengthening the body, not overpowering it. That prevention mattered more than intervention. That medicine could come from living systems rather than factories. On Chios, the trees still bleed their resin each summer. Farmers still collect the tears by hand, sweeping the white earth beneath the trees, waiting patiently for the drops to harden. The process has not changed in centuries. The knowledge never disappeared from the land, only from our attention. And perhaps that is the most important lesson mastic gum offers. Modern science did not disprove ancient medicine. It simply stopped listening. 4,000 years of healing were not wrong. They were incomplete, waiting to be integrated. Mastic gum does not promise immortality. It does not cure everything. It does not replace antibiotics or surgery, but it fills a space modern medicine abandoned, the slow restoration of balance. The kind of healing that begins in the gut, spreads through the immune system, and supports the body's own intelligence. The kind that does not shout, but endures. In a world obsessed with speed, mastic reminds us that some medicines work at the pace of life itself. That trees, given time, can teach us how to heal. That knowledge does not vanish just because it is inconvenient. 4,000 years of healing were not destroyed. They were buried under the assumption that newer always means better. And now, as modern medicine faces the limits of its own approach, the tears of an ancient tree still wait, quietly, patiently, for those willing to remember what healing once meant.